Welcome to the latest Motley Fool scoreboard. I'm on in Chalk Blue. We've got longtime fools Lou Whiteman and Jason Hall giving a 1 to 10 rating to aerospace company Rocket Lab. RKLB is the ticker. As always, we'll do a 10-second bull bear. We'll rate Rocket Lab's business, its management, and its financials. We'll talk valuation. If there's time, fools, we'll play Armchair CEO. We'll top it, and hopefully we won't sing any more classic rock. All in about 12 minutes or less. So let's get to it. Lou, tell us more about Rocket Lab.
I can't promise not to sing, I'm sorry. But on Rocket Lab, okay, it is part of the 21st century space race, one of a number of young companies trying to get a piece of the global space industry that by some estimates could be worth over $1 trillion by 2040. Rocket Lab is arguably a lot further along than most of those companies to its advantage. When it comes to space, smaller is harder to do. It's relatively easier to just add more thrust, but Rocket Lab is one of the smallest, most efficient rockets available that allows it to be competitively price its launches. It also has a great success rate and actual track record compared to most of these startups, and it's building out a suite of services to be a one-stop shop for all space customers. The bear case is space is hard, really hard. Business blow-ups tend to be literal blow-ups. It's a tough industry to get right. Also, that $1.1 trillion total market is speculative at best. Maybe wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't get all the way there. There's the little matter of SpaceX soaking up a lot of that business too. So everything could go right for Rocket Lab, but there might just not be enough business to make this a good investment. So speculative. We're talking about rocket science here, kids.
All right, Jason, let's put some numbers on the business of Rocket Lab. A 10 is invincible, a 1 is hopeless.
So I tried hard to not grade the business on a curve against the legacy players and the other startups in the business. If I was grading it on a curve, I probably would have given it higher. It's very differentiated from the legacy giants who basically just kind of built their business as government contractors and definitely kind of leaned into the bigger is better. That doesn't work. It's playing a different game. It's also playing a little bit different game than some of the private competitors, including companies like SpaceX. Not only are they more successful, but they can do launches more quickly, right? So there's a lot of advantages they have built in. I'd like to go higher. But looking at the business, I want to see the cash burn come down. I don't want to reward the potential too much as if potential were a strength. So I gave it a 6.
So I'm at a 7 here. And this is a hard business. There has been setbacks. The Neutron rocket, which is their next gen rocket, has been delayed, which is going to hurt cash flows and slow things down. But I really, really like the model here. And I do want to kind of get to the potential. And that's kind of why I'm at a 7. Rocket Lab, I said before, is trying to be a one-stop shop. A lot of the projected growth in space assumes the companies with literally no space presence today will find a reason to be in space in the future. Those companies are not going to hire their own aerospace teams. Rocket Lab wants to be the go-to place for satellite design, satellite manufacture, launch, and then ongoing monitoring maintenance. It makes a lot of sense, and to my eyes, it's the best model out there. That helps my score because I do believe that they are on to the winning model, but this is still, they got to prove it out. So only a 7, which is about as high as I'd go.
Jason, how about the management? 10 is Warren Buffett, a 1 is Homer Simpson.
So you look at businesses that have founders that stay around, build the business up, take it public, and start moving it towards profitability. And there's a lot to like. That's Peter Beck. He's the CEO and he is the founder. And he's partnered up with a really good chairman, Sir Peter Beck. It's the same guy, just for a weird reason on their website. They call him Sir Peter Beck as the chairman, but they just call him Mr. Peter Beck as the CEO. But the point is, he's done incredible things. And I think the business is on the cusp of getting to that stable, long-term, profitable growth. They're not quite there. If they were higher, if they were in the profitability range, I would give him a higher score. But he's earned a 7, and I could definitely make the case for a higher score.
Yeah, Peter Beck's a genius, and I don't say that lightly. He's just very good at what he does. I'm at a 7 because I kind of like the team, but I'm just, there's still so much to prove. Frank Klein, Chief Operations Officer, he's a manufacturing background, but he came from Rivian. He didn't come from space. Sean O'Dell, Chief Engineer, he knows his stuff. The interesting thing for me here is that Rocket Lab was kind of conceived on the idea of thinking outside the box. Peter Beck was almost deported from this country just because they couldn't figure out why some foreigner was hanging out at Rocket Labs. they
Yep,
are
that's
really
right.
the outsider's company. The management team reflects that non-US focus, non-space focus. I like it in theory, but I do worry that some insider knowledge is required to avoid reinventing the wheel and to kind of get as they grow here. So my grade is solid, but not spectacular. But a lot of respect for him, though.
I like Beck that they just brought in to run operations coming from the automotive industry, because it's not harder than aerospace. Space is not harder than that, but it's pretty hard to make money manufacturing automobiles. So somebody that has a long track record at a number of automakers there, I like that move too, Lou.
All right, what about financials, Jason? A 10 is a fortress, a 1 is yikes.
So again, you got to be careful about not giving too much credit for potential. The business model really does look like it's going to deliver. Their ability to more quickly turn around and get stuff into orbit, their focus on small has paid off. Even though with Neutron, they're looking to go bigger, right? So they're trying to be more end to end. They have a differentiated business model, but still burning money until the cash burn turns to profitability. That's where the risk lives. Can scale fix that? We're going to see. Until then, the financials, the balance sheet, the cash burn, I say a 5.
Yeah, very much a work in progress. It's funny because we laugh at SPACs a lot, but one real advantage they have is that they were, as these go, a very successful SPAC, and they have a lot of cash sitting around thanks to that, which makes me feel a little better. The numbers are trending in the right direction. The losses are not surprising, but Jason's right. This is, a cash flow negative early stage company with a lot to prove. I don't want to scream panic. I can't get too complimentary either. I sort of see the glass as slightly half full instead of half empty. And so I end up, a little better than 50-50, which is a 6.
Lou, let's talk valuation. Quantum rates Rocket Lab as aggressive on the cautious, moderate, aggressive risk reward spectrum. How well will Rocket Lab stock do over the next 5 years? And how safe is it? Keeping in mind a 10 is a sure thing, a 1 is a lottery ticket.
All right, so I'm going to use the word if here, and it's the world's biggest if. But if things go to script, it's a great script. This is a big winner. So if this goes the way they hope it is, this is going to be a 15% plus company. My safety score is only a 3 here on it because I will admit that's a huge if, but I do think that from what I've seen, they are on the right track, and I do think they can get there. So best case scenario, it all works out. We see strong returns. I ended up with a 15% plus. Believe me, it works out, but do please mind that safety score.
Yeah, I hate to exactly agree with Lou, but I agree with Lou exactly. This is very much likely to be a binary outcome situation where the tailwinds on space, all the private business opportunity that's there, continue to pay off, and Rocket Lab's momentum that's in place and its trajectory, that's my joke about space there, delivers. There's a good chance that it is a big winning market beating investment. But if it doesn't, you're going to lose money, right? The probabilities that one of those two outcomes is far more likely than it just being an okay or a kind of bad investment. So 15% plus, but again, 3 low probability, high probability that you lose money or you make a lot of money.
In the interest of time, let's skip Armchair CEO and go right to everyone's favorite, Top It. Lou, is there a company in Rocket Lab space that you like better?
No. And I'll expand on that. But look, I'll be honest, I've involved in aerospace for most of my career. I think much of the space hype is more hype than substance. I don't believe that $1 trillion number. I do think most of these companies will end up out of business or acquired. We've already started to see that with Lockheed buying up Terran Orbital for basically the price of its assets. But, and again, a big but, big if here, but if there is a market here, and there is some sort of market here, and Rocket Lab is by far the superior company among all of these chasing that market, if anyone's going to make it, it's going to be them. And I do believe we will. It won't just be a total wipeout here. There will be some. So this is the horse I'm riding.
Lou, you're not interested in one of the owners of ULA, Boeing. You're not interested there.
Yeah.
No, come on. Yeah, me neither. Not at all. Not even close. But it's such a unique business as a publicly traded pure play on what it does. Pretty much everybody else that's public, they do all the other aerospace and defense stuff too. So it's definitely unique. I just have to decide if the risk here is worth the potential reward.
If SpaceX were a public company, would either of you be more interested than in Rocket Lab?
Personally, no. I have a lot of respect for SpaceX, but they do a lot of things to create their own demand. And
Yeah.
while it makes the numbers look very good for now, I am more intrigued by the opportunity that Rocket Lab is creating for itself personally.
Yeah, I think that's fair. SpaceX with the satellites that it's putting up for its own use, it makes it a little bit more murky about what are the actual economics of its rockets business. So yeah, I agree with Lou.
Thanks to Lou Whiteman and to Jason Hall. They've given Rocket Lab a decent overall score of 6.4 out of 10, with high potential returns, but also high risk as well. Look out for a new scoreboard every market day, 7 p.m. Eastern. Next up is a Beltway Bandit. Till then, Fool on.
Yeah, turned it off and turned it back on. The universal fix.